Hey everyone, it's Johnny, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back to my channel, and today I upgraded my box, but we're gonna go through some empties. And today I'm gonna go through the non-Scentsy ones for this video, and the next one is going to be the Scentsy ones because there were quite a few, and I really didn't feel like doing an hour-long video because while it's interesting and kind of fun to do, to be fair, I figured it would be a little bit nicer to have two shorter videos. So, if you were looking for Scentsy empties, you will not find them in this particular video, but I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. So this will be a little shorter of the two, but I did get through some non-Scentsy stuff. So let's dive in. We got through a clam of Yankee Candle's Christmas Morning Punch. This is like a limey, citrusy fruit punch. Kind of a cranberry note to this, maybe. It's very interesting. It had it performed pretty well. Lasted through the day. I don't know how I feel about this though. It had like a weird note to it that was bothering me, and I don't know if I could place it now that I'm thinking about it, but I don't know if it was just the lime combination in it or like the fizzy, effervescent sort of citrus note that they were doing in there. But it didn't do a whole lot for me. It performed well, which was nice because I seem to have hit or miss success with Yankee Candle in that regard. But also, I wasn't a particular fan of this. I feel like so far I've been underwhelmed by a lot of the Yankee Candle wax melts, which is surprising because at least when I remember warming the fragrance oil like plugins in the walls, those used to be powerhouse awesome scents to me. For some reason, the wax melts aren't doing it for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's been a new formula or it has to do with the wax they're using or whatnot, but so far Yankee is not one of my particularly fondest wax brands to be melting, surprisingly. Anyways, so that was Christmas Morning Punch. Would I get it again? No, but it was an interesting warm. I won't say I hated it, but it was not something I would go out of my way to find and warm again. It had like a cleaner product sort of smell to it that's what it might have been what it was that kind of bothered me. Next we have Holiday Hearth from Yankee Candle. This is kind of like a slightly Home Depot-y scent. Like if you're in the woodsy department. Like you have that almost slightly fresh wood. You have like a smoky sort of ashen note. And then you have other sorts of wood notes. So it's like you're in a woodworking shop, but it's more smoky. Like there's a fireplace somewhere in there. Or you're in like Home Depot. Somewhere between like the tire department and the wood department. Wait, does Home Depot have tires? Hang on, hold that thought. I don't know. Maybe gardening and tires, or gardening and wood department. Yeah, it's like that weird mix. I don't know. I don't usually smell fireplaces in that sense, so I don't know how authentic it is, but it has that sort of like earthy brick sort of note to it on top of like the smoky wood note. It's not bad. I like it as a background scent, but it's not anything I'd write home about. And would I warm this again? Probably. Would I go out of my way to find it again? Probably not. But it's very woodsy if you like that sort of stuff. Oh, apparently I got through 2 of those. It is a lighter one, I will say. So I remember that I had to double up on cubes sometimes to get more of a throw. But if you were looking for it for a background scent, the one would be fine. All right, next we have Endless Romance from Tuscany Candle. This is fresh long stem roses. That's what it is. It's a little bit more powdery and less fresh than Scentsy's Simply Rose, and significantly less powerful wham bam in your face as Scentsy's is. And it doesn't last as long as Scentsy's either. Which I actually didn't mind because that scent was just too much. This one is like still too much for me, but if you liked roses, this is the scent for you. I wouldn't get it again, but it did perform pretty well. Tuscany, also I did Beyond Romance. These were all from their Valentine collection. This is Delicate Sweet Pea. And that's all it is. It's Sweet Pea. There's nothing really else to this scent. I will say a lot of these felt a little bit one-dimensional, which is not always a bad thing. Sometimes you don't want a bunch of crazy notes in your scent going. But it was very much just like Sweet Pea. And I'm not like a huge Sweet Pea fanatic to begin with, so it was just kind of like, meh, okay. All right, next we have Love Notes, which is White Birch and Silky Satin. And this one I really like. I still have a couple more bars of this. I really like it. It probably ended up, it did end up becoming my favorite out of their Valentine's collection this time. I would get more of it. It's not super heavy, strong in terms of performance. It was like about a medium, maybe a medium soft sort of scent, but it did last. And it's this really nice sort of bedroom scent. Not quite perfumey, anything along that line. It's like that clean, slightly creamy hint of woodsy sort of note. So slightly romantic scent. I think out of all of the ones, this one was kind of the closest to its little fun name, Love Notes. Like I could see that being part of the thing. But I would get this one again. So this one does get my seal of approval. I did warm through another one of True Love. This one, I wanted to love it. It's Peony Petals. And I do love it. But in a small, tiny bathroom, you need at least 2 cubes of the 6 in order to get a soft to medium throw. So it's a very light scent. It gets lost in rooms bigger than maybe a bathroom. So I would just say that unless you're hypersensitive to smell, this will probably be too light for most people. But it is pretty. Unfortunately, just the performance was not there. Then I have Chocolate Cherries from Tuscany. This is fresh cherries and hot fudge. This is mostly cherries. And it's like, it goes between like cough drops and throat lozenges and like cherry popsicle and like cherry lollipop in terms of the cherry journey. It's not an authentic like fresh cherries. I would argue it's not quite maraschino cherries either. It's definitely more on like almost the candy syrupy cherry smell. And as far as the fudge note, it wasn't particularly strong. Like most of it was cherries. Like almost the entire time it was warming, it was cherries. Now to be fair, it did last. It was a good, strong performer. Holy bananas, it was strong. But you have to like that almost cherry syrup flavor to like really appreciate this one. So that was a little bit of a disappointment for me. Not my sort of wheelhouse, but I got through it. Next, let's switch over to Sensationals. I warmed an old bar of Twilight Mist and Dreams. This, I thought was going to be more woodsy. It is somewhat woodsy, but it's very much like that welcome home sort of scent. It's like that sort of home spicy scent sort of thing. And so it lost some major points for me there. Not because it was an unpleasant smell, but because I am not particularly fond of that sort of scent in like as the scent of the room. But it's nice. So if you like scents like Welcome Home from Scentsy, or what is it? Home, I guess, from Sensationals. Something similar to that, where it has like that sort of home spices note. With a hint of wood. Would I get it again? Probably not. A little too much spice for me, but it was decent. All right, we have Sensational Pacific Coast Highway. California Dreamin'. This is gorgeous. This is, how do I describe this? You have like a pineapple-y note. You have that fresh air, sea breeze thing going on. There's like a cleanness to the scent. Oh, it's just like a clean, fresh, slightly fruity scent. And it lasts for the whole time and then some. It's great. It kind of, if you were trying to think of scents to compare it to, it's not the same as Stitch's scent 624, I want to say he is, from Scentsy. But it's along that sort of like idea where you have like that pineapple and then like freshness and crispness. Oh, it's so good. It's not a dupe by any means, but it's in that same sort of broad category of overall scent profile. So if you liked that scent a lot, you may enjoy this one. I love this so much that I stocked up. I didn't get a ton of these, but I got a couple extra bars of it, so that I can alternate between this and Stitch and a couple other scents. But it's a very, very nice scent. So I approve, and I hope that stays around. Next, let's go over to, oh, I missed the Tuscany one. Let's jump back to that one. Champagne Toast. This is Bubbling Citrus, and they couldn't be more right on the bullet. I don't know if I got the bubbling part, but it was almost like a mix of orange and grapefruit, not just distinctly orange. But very much citrus, very kind of in-your-face sort of scent, and it performed pretty well. So no complaints on that one, but not particularly like something I would go out of my way personally to find more of. Next, I got through Vanilla Bean Buttercream. This is also Better Homes and Gardens. This is not the same as Scentsy's Vanilla Bean Buttercream, so let me just put that out there. This one smells like a vanilla bean buttercream cupcake, whereas Scentsy's smells like the butter that you add all the vanilla bean and everything else to make the vanilla bean buttercream frosting. This is more of, it gives you more of that slightly bakery, cupcakey note. It almost kind of reminds me of like a sweet yellow birthday cake. Yeah, it's very much that, and it's great. But it's very cloying. I will say that much. It lasts for forever. It does mellow out throughout the day, a little bit, but it still performs really strongly. And I remember warming a little bit of this on my birthday weekend, and then finishing it up much later because it was just like, oh my gosh, it's the gift that kept giving. To the point where it was almost like I warmed this and I was like, I feel like I'm just eating cake all day long. So by the time it got to like my actual cake, I was like, maybe I don't want cake on my birthday. But it's a great scent. It's a great performer. I would get it again, despite it not being like in my wheelhouse or something I'd reach for very often. But for those select occasions, like birthday parties or events, oh man, great choice. Then I got through Better Homes and Gardens Lemongrass and Ginger. This is from their Aromatherapy Essential Oil line. And it's lemongrass and it's ginger. And there's not much else. The ginger is kind of spicy, I will warn you. Especially as it fizzles out from the lemongrass, the ginger spice still sticks around. I actually used this because the outside of our apartment complex was getting painted in that nasty Rust-Oleum sort of heavy-duty, varnishy smelling paint, you know, so that it doesn't like chip away and whatever. And obnoxious fumes, so I was like, what can I put in here to try to like mellow this out? So I tried using this. It worked pretty decently. It is slightly softer. It's not lemon, it's lemongrass, but between that and the ginger, it did help kind of cut down some of the pungency of the painting smell as it was drying, which was nice. Would I get this one again particularly? I feel like it's a little too spicy ginger for my own personal taste, but I wouldn't mind warming this again. I just don't think I would go out of my way to specifically get this one. All right, Country Candle. This is from like the Country Candle, Kringle Candle collection, whatever. Citrus and sea grass. I really like this one. There's a fresh, dewy, sort of citrusy note, and then there's the sea salty sort of ocean vibe. It kind of gives me a little bit of like By the Sea vibes a little bit from Scentsy without being quite as soapy, with more citrusy and bright. But you do have a little bit of that soapy note to it. I liked it. It performed well, but I felt like it did teeter out like 2/3 of the way through the day. The first part of the day, great. Second part of the day, a little bit more mellow, but still there, still present. Last part of the day, it was just kind of lingering around. But I will say that their wax 6-packs still impress me far more than their little single pucks. So if you are curious at any point to try their collection of stuff, I strongly suggest you pick up a couple of their 6-pack wax melts rather than their little like singles, which are a little cheaper, but I thought were overall a disappointment in terms of throw. Now they may have changed the formula, or maybe I've gotten a bad batch, but all the ones from my order that I placed were just not winning any awards. All right, now I have 3 things from Destination Wax. I have Palo Santo, which I have never warmed before. Warm and Mellow, Palo Santo Wood, Amber, and Soft Musk. This is a Bath & Body Works type. It smells delightful. I loved it. I loved it more than I thought I would. I don't think I've really warmed or smelled Palo Santo Wood before, but really enjoyed this. Would totally get this again, and it lasted forever. Oh, it smells so good. So good. So this one, superstar win. Really enjoyed it. Would, if they had a club system, this would be one that I would go out of my way to find again. Then I warmed through Oud Wood, which is sweet, warm, and woodsy sandalwood, garwood, cedar, frankincense, iris, inspired by Lush's Oud Heart. And this one was all right. So you do get the oud, you do get a little bit of the cedary frankincense note. There is a hint of a light floral in the background. Not super strong, but it's there. It lasted well, performed well, but it was just, I liked it. I didn't love it. And I think at this point with my massive wax collection as it is, when I look for scents that I would repurchase, I kind of have a 4-tier system where it's like, do I love it? Do I just like it? Was it okay? Or is it more of like a pass? And it's kind of like, if it's not in the love it category, I won't go out of my way to like stockpile unless it's in that category. If it's in the like it category, it's conditional. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. And then anything below that, it's like, well, that was cool, but no thanks. This would definitely be in the like for me, maybe in the love. I would definitely warm it again, but I don't know if I'd go out of my way to warm it. Next, we have Blackwood from Destination Wax. This is a Joe Malone type, black pepper, chili pepper, cedar, and juniper. So, yeah, so this scent has got to be my first scent from Destination Wax where I wasn't particularly wowed about it. And it was not the fragrance itself. Like, the actual scent is beautiful. But it was very light compared to what I'm very familiar with most of her waxes to be. So I don't know if it was the batch in particular, or it didn't cure correctly, or it's just this particular scent is much lighter than some of the other ones. But I found that this one kind of got lost even in a small like bathroom, which is surprising because I warmed this one in my bedroom and then in my bathroom. And in both cases, like, it was almost undetectable. It was like, I don't know if it just blended into the background or what. So this is the only one that I was a little bit like, well, that sucks, because it smells great. I love the scent notes. It just didn't perform for me. So if you've tried this one and it's performed for you and it's been great, please let me know. I'm totally willing to try it again, but I was just surprised because even some of the scents from Destination Wax that I wasn't as fond of personally still performed really well. So this one was the first one that I was kind of like, wah, wah, what happened? What happened? All right, and then finally, I broke my vendetta, well, I guess it's not a vendetta, but my pact against buying things from them because I was not impressed, from Pink Zebra Sprinkles. And I decided to try the scent California Boy because I'm not originally from California, but I'm in California and I am a boy the last time I checked. So I figured I would try this. And it's like this woodsy blend, like Brazilian wood and cedar and something else. Can I tell you how much I love this scent? It is gorgeous. And while I will say it did not last the full day, when it was actually present in the room, oh man, it was heavenly. And it was strong. Like, I think in my Pink Zebra Sprinkles, like one of the big things that I had marketed as was either the scents were a little bit too one-dimensional, or they just didn't perform at all, or didn't carry. This one broke all those rules. It performed well, it carried through the rooms. I loved the scent notes. And of course it's not in their current catalog. They don't have it right now, which makes me really sad because I finally find one I like and it's not available. I would get this again if it came around. I'll just put it out there. It didn't last the whole day, maybe about a half a day, maybe 3/4 of the day if I'm being generous. But it was beautiful. And I even had like their little Pink Zebra sprinkle scoop or whatever it's called, and followed like 1 scoop, which is about a cube of wax. It's maybe a little bit less than that, but that's basically what their scoop of wax is, in case you're curious. But yeah, it was good. I just wish I had more of it. So actually, I do have one more little bag of it, but I wish I had more than that because that'll only get me through like 2 more warmings, I would guess. Anyways, so there's that. Let me know if you've tried any of these scents, what your thoughts are on them. But this concludes our Non-Scentsy empties. And in our next part of this fragrance feedback, we will cover all the Scentsy madness. All right? So hopefully this is helpful. Hope you enjoyed this. Give this video a thumbs up if you would be so kind. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. And I'll see you in your next video. Take care, guys. Bye.